that I spoke about earlier, this natural instinctual desire to seek happiness and overcome suffering, is that a product of karma? It seems the answer would be no.
So today we do that. 다른 식의 world다, 그런 가설 개조는 식의 빅방들이 용대하디디, 빅방지기 단 넘줄 컨디지 차다 맞았어야 돼 렉저야 돼. 제단 거라 causality 두스 용대버디 렉 말해.
Similarly, when we think about the evolution of the physical universe at large, yesterday we spoke a bit about the Big Bang theory and its implications for Buddhist cosmology. One could say that, generally speaking, so far as the natural processes of sort of cause and effects in the physical world is concerned, so far as that process is concerned, I don't think we can say that it's a product of karma. But so the process of causes and effects in the natural world takes place regardless of karma. But in what form that process, or in what direction that process would lead to, then of course karma will have a role to play.
자, today we do that. 그게 가서 그게 아주 그게 짜바치스들이야. 짜바치스 유들이야. 아니 그게 가서다. 로버도 아니 두진지 두의 땡기 주어친데베 릭직. 다른 거 랑싱기 그 춘익이 거를 여den의 릭직. 야 랑싱기다 춘익이 그게 여den의 소소소리야 투모모인베야 거를 춘익이 하는 네버를 지게 하는 여다. 그래서 제그 그게 짜바쳐서 유들이야. 된듯이 예배 인도자네. 아니 아주 그게 제배 고스네 누구 제당을 그래야 아니 리버 시권에 제와서는 배지 다 도선저 용이어서 춘익이 봐. 아니 그래 저시베지 봐. 아니 때베지 봐. 태주기를 봐서 이것이 배주셔야 돼.
So what we find here is that in the natural world, we find that there are, in terms of applying inquiry, in terms of identifying the objects of inquiry, from the Buddhist sort of analytical point of view, it seems that one could say that there are two sort of distinct types of objects of inquiry. One object or one realm that is sort of, one could say, natural, where only a natural process of causal laws operate. And then one could also speak about another realm of sort of inquiry, where we can then, as a result of these sort of causal interactions, there are certain properties that are emergent, that are contingent, as a result of these interactions. Because of this distinction in Buddhist scriptures, we find sort of discussion of different avenues of reasoning or different avenues of examining sort of analysis when trying to understand the nature of the world or nature of reality. For example, like in Buddhism, there is a discussion of perhaps what could be called the four principles. One is the natural principle, the fact that things exist, the fact that cause lead to effects. So here there is an appreciation of a principle that is natural. One could almost say there is an acceptance of natural laws. And then based on that natural principle, then you can appreciate certain types of what could be called the principle of efficacy, how given that nature they have the capacity to produce certain results and so on. So there is, one could say, there is a principle of efficacy. And then we can also talk about another principle, that is the principle of dependence. And given this natural law and the principle of efficacy, we also see that there is a kind of a natural dependence between things and events, between causes and effects. And then there is, based on these three principles, then the Buddhist critical analysis sort of talks about how we can apply various types of reasoning or analysis that would enable us to broaden or deepen our understanding of the natural world. Therefore, the fourth principle is accepted, which is the principle of valid proof, that is based on the understanding of these different principles, the principle of natural principle, the principle of dependence, principle of efficacy. Then you can apply various, you can accept a principle of valid proof that given this, that must be the case. Given that, this should be the case.
So today in the Quran, Chini Nadanda, or Rangjungi, that Koran movie Shiluti, Shevachini, Dishili Shabatane, any that Tedusia di Nalolia, Chenyamling, that Tibopon Gawadusa, that did.
So, for a practicing Buddhist who is engaged in the Dharma, it becomes important to appreciate these what could be called facts of the natural world. And then once you have appreciation of these natural principles, the natural principle, the principle of efficacy and dependence, then you are in a position to utilize that knowledge to live a life that would accord with the Dharma principles. And therefore, one could say that then we will be utilizing the principle of valid proof, the way in which we can avoid certain negative actions, the way in which we can enhance our virtuous actions, and so on.
That one, pension dress, not only that leg, that pension dress, pension to that leg, because draw yourself not only any that leg, because you can do what's lavina, effect on this was lavina. Just now, last little action channing, but I'm going to say action can be semi to do, draw you, but a tonserva. But another action, any chidu, soil, and George, so savage. That she's the Tagarisha, principal Tagarisha. The Italian Cheney, any Kadachi, Tade, Chawat, Jebe, Gengi, any mount to do the draw on them. That the never thought Tomling to Tani, any Nangi, that Kadachi, cheap and that no you go about the nere. But a Nangi give you and a Pumbu, Nada Shashane, Zawa, any Juanga Gane, Rodigarwa. So that Juanga Delia, Chin Juanga, Nanga Juanga le Tara, didn't pay yesterday. Didn't they get on any Jawaji Tugman or something? So the didn't other than Shana to check how.
So the question is, of course, there is a natural world. At a certain point in the causal process, karma comes into the picture. Now the question is, in what sense or in what manner karma affects or interacts with the natural world, the process of the natural causal law. Here, I think perhaps we can relate that to our own personal experience. That from our own personal experience, we know that certain actions that we commit, for example, like in the morning, will have its effect, continuing effect, even in the evening. It would have created a certain state of mind. It would have had an impact upon our emotion, our kind of sense of being. So even though the act was committed in the morning, an act was an event that was finished, but its effect still lingers on within us. And I think that is the same principle which operates when we talk about karma and its effects, even in the case of long-term karmic effects. So it is on that basis we can understand how karma can create effects which are felt even after a long time after the act was committed. And in the Buddhism, according to Buddhist explanation, of course, the sort of impact of karma could be felt in successive lifetimes as well. Now here, I feel that unless we sort of complement the general explanation of the karmic process in the mainstream Buddhist literature from Vajrayana literature, I don't think our understanding will be comprehensive or complete, because in the Vajrayana tradition there is an appreciation that not only the physical world but also the world of the sentient being We are all sort of composed of the 5 elements.
sentient beings 다 강사돼.
The body of the sentient being